If, like me, you've got rather short legs, I had to swap out the crankset on this particular bike for a shorter 165mm crankset. And the only one I could get was a Sram. And they have a particularly unusual preload adjustment here. This one's made by a company called Kogel. They make bearings in America. Anyway, I had to swap this out because I stripped the hex on the little tiny adjustment screw because I'm a bit heavy-handed. Anyway, I shall show you the bit that I took off just to show you how it operates, because I couldn't find any instructions on how or why that preload adjustment was adjusted. I'll rest you up here. Right, there you go. That's it. I shall just wind this back in, screwing it clockwise. Right, you fit it to the bike in that direction with this small threaded part here goes against your bottom bracket, and this bit goes against your pedal. A little tip is to tap the crank this way, a soft mallet, a light tap, just to give you as much clearance this side as that's available. Okay, once it's on, make sure this screw, that's a 2mm hex Allen key, goes in there, and you simply unscrew this by turning it anti-clockwise. I've tightened it up now. Right, there we go. So we unscrew this anti-clockwise, and the width of this is now getting bigger, taking up any slack. You turn this until you can't turn it anymore. Not with any tools, but just with your fingertips, until you can't turn it anymore, and that's your preload set. You then tighten this, if I can focus, this little screw here. That closes the gap up and locks that thread in place. So that's how you take up the slack and preload the bottom bearings, the bottom bracket bearings. Okay, so just to go over that again, you wind it clockwise to make it as narrow as possible. Then to expand, you rotate anti-clockwise until you can't rotate it anymore, and then you lock the lock nut to close that up. You don't need a lot of force. I over torqued it, stupid boy that I am, and tore the thread out, so I couldn't use a 2mm Allen key anymore, and I had to go and buy a special tool to get it out. So anyway, that's how it works. That's how the preload adjustment works on your Sram cranksets.